Bringing the Vikings to life is something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and so it's an exquisite agony. It's wonderful because I'm working with a lot of extremely talented people who build these sets, who create this world, who make the costumes, who make my words come real. It's a sort of agony because of the effort of writing all the episodes, but it's been the best thing I've ever been involved with, personally as a writer, but also working with this crew and here in Ireland at this new studio. As I say, with people, many of whom I think of as geniuses, so I'm very, very happy. We're interested in the Vikings because they left a huge residue, not just across Europe, but across the world. I mean, Russia is called Russia because of the Rus Vikings. I grew up near the city of York in the north of England, which was a Viking town. Dublin here in Ireland was built by the Vikings. At one stage, the Vikings ran just about the whole of central England. It was called the Danelaw. And as the word suggests, they gave us some of our laws. They gave us a lot of our language. They gave us a lot of expressions. They gave us, and the French, I mean, Normandy is called Normandy because it's the land of the Northmen. They spread themselves out. They discovered, in inverted commas, North America hundreds of years before Columbus. So we're interested in them because they did such remarkable things for Dark Age people, and we're talking about the 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th centuries, a long time ago. They got halfway around the world in their boats. No one else at the time could have done anything remotely similar to what they did. But as I say, they also left themselves in the gene pool of most European countries, and in fact, oddly enough, in certain African countries, in Eastern Europe, all around the world there are Vikings, and I think that they've had such a bad press until quite recently. The Vikings were always considered to be the other. I mean, the maniacs, you know, the uncultured, the pagans who came in and raped and pillaged, you know, were uncultured. We had that impression because their history was written by Christian monks. In fact, they were a fascinating Iron Age people, you know, whose attitude towards women, for example, was much more enlightened than the Saxons or the Franks at the time. And what I'm trying to do with the show is to some extent to redeem their reputation, to show that we've been living with cliches for too long. And who knew? You know, the Vikings, men loved their wives and parents loved their children, and they were people, they were human beings. So there's a lot of work for the show to do besides being, I think, a very entertaining show. Well, you know what, up till this point, whenever you've seen lots of computer games seem to feature a kind of Viking-like peoples, and they, as I say, they're always the outsiders, they're always the bad guys, they're always the people who come in and wreak havoc and kill people without mercy. I personally, I mean, I love the pagan gods. From a writer's point of view, they're just gold. They're gold dust because they're weird and quirky and wonderful. Much older, the Viking gods much older than the Christian god. So I would like a Viking game really to be about the relationship between human beings and gods.